Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the WWE Raw Popcast here on the Popcast Network. My name is Sir Owen, and joining me, as always, we have the Popcaster Panel. First off, we have Will,
Hello.
and secondly, we have Ashley.
I think, with respect to what we're going to have to go through next week, I think we need a moment of clarity, which may also act as a message to a certain head of either a company that's got a W and an E in its name, or a company with a T, an A, and an N in no particular order in its name.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're a cocksucking, ass-licking Uncle Fucker. You're an Uncle Fucker, yes it's true. Nobody fucks uncles quite like you.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're the one that fucked your uncle, Uncle Fucker. You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn, you just fuck your uncle all day long.
Yeah,
That's pretty much better than I could ever say it.
Thank God for Excalibur.
Yeah, absolutely. We will gladly get to that on Wednesday.
Somebody that knows how to book wrestling.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
I mean, right now, I don't know about you guys. Actually, I know a little bit more about Ashley. I don't really know what Will's response to this is. WWE, you're really testing my patience right now.
They're testing mine too, Owen.
Okay, I'll shoot with you guys. I woke up this morning. I went to work. I worked till 6 o'clock. I came back here. I had dinner. And then I got ready for the pre-chat with Ashley. By the time we got to the end of the show, I felt like I was comatose. They betrayed me, and I do not care anymore.
And to think, from next week, it's 5 hours in the space of 26.
We've got Raw, we've got SmackDown, we've got Wednesday with the Cruiserweight Classic and the end of Ultima Lucha, Dose. Then we have, thankfully, a break on Thursday. And then Friday, I've got Travis's podcast. Saturday, there's a possibility we can get number 6 for Horror Nights.
Regardless of all that stuff, I'm saying just with the WWE.
I know.
Every week you're going to get 5 hours of wrestling in the space of 26 hours.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And on pay-per-views, at least, even if you count the pre-show, because there'll be matches on it,
All right.
8.5 hours in the space of 50.
And that's just WWE content. That doesn't even take into account TNA or Lucha or Ring of Honor or any of the indies we watch. I mean, This is going to be overload.
I'm literally going to see if I can watch the Lucha Libre show that they had, ironically, at the same time as the bloody UFC show, which I thought was great timing. It was like I got a prompt.
Heck, at this point, Ashley, I'd rather have watched Ring of Honor on the Fight app tonight instead of watching Raw.
Yeah.
That Fight app is pretty awesome. I recommend it. That's free.
Wow, this one isn't working. God damn you, CMLL.
So yeah, I mean, Raw was live in Detroit, Michigan tonight. Just another lackluster, going through the motions edition of Raw that had a couple of good matches on it, and some storyline progression and killing a storyline dead in its tracks, if it was ever alive in the first place. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and nothing to talk about at the same time, so you wrap your head around that. Like I said, I'm kind of wiped out, to be totally honest. So I mean, I'm still gonna press on, even though I know for a fact that I have another podcast tomorrow, and then I have one on Wednesday, and then I get a break on Thursday, and then we have one on Friday, and who knows,
Tomorrow.
we may have one on Saturday.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
I'm guessing that isn't the SmackDown one.
I'm doing a Horror Nights podcast with no podcast, and well, I'm not doing a
Okay.
podcast. I'm guessing on a podcast for Horror Nights tomorrow
Oh,
night.
okay. Right.
Yeah.
Getting confused. I was like, no, SmackDown's live next week. We're
Yeah.
only doing it one.
We're already moving our timing to 10 p.m. because of the Cruiserweight Classic. TNA is now going to be a week behind when it starts on Thursday.
Yep.
Lucha's about ready to finish up, so that'll help a little bit. Travis didn't even realize there was a What Culture show today. He was like, don't they miss a show because they have to tape? And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know, maybe. No, there's one this week.
Never. Unlike WWE, they don't take creative breaks.
God. All right, let's get into this, shall we?
For once, I don't have to stop.
Nope, you don't. You really don't, because the show begins with pretty much almost every mid-carder that is not connected to the U.S. title picture in the ring, and The Miz and Maurice are on commentary, which means we're going to get a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship and the person that will go on to face The Miz at Battleground. The only person that got an entrance was Apollo Crews. Interesting.
Who didn't even get that much of an entrance because it was interrupted by dummies.
Saying, welcome to the 98th day of the Miz's IC title world tour. Forgive me if I missed any of the eliminations. This actually went pretty fast. Goldust eliminated.
You need to mention the bit from commentary.
Once again, when I'm on the call, I can't listen to commentary, so you'll have to
No, but
it's
it's the infamous line that I thought you would have paid attention to. You know, I'm glad to see that this match is happening because it's bringing more prestige and recognition to the IC title. This coming from a champ who wasn't fucking wrestling for 4 or 5 weeks because it was more important to film a movie which nobody's going to see in cinemas, you know, because it's going to go straight to DVD.
Right.
Even then, I don't think it's going to have the appeal of Rusev's got a gun.
Nothing's going to have that appeal. So, we'll talk about quick eliminations as best I can here, because there's a couple things I'm going to miss, because this went pretty fast, and it had a commercial break in the middle of it, so that should tell you that they really cared about it.
The first out was Aiden, though. That's the key thing to know.
Goldust eliminates Aiden English, and then R-Truth eliminates Connor. Nice to see the Ascension back, actually. The Dudleys eliminate Curtis Axel. Michael Cole mispronounces Devon's name. Thought that was funny. Baron Corbin eliminates Truth. Corbin eliminates Victor. And the Usos with the thrust kick shindig eliminate Devon. We go to commercial. We come back, and Dolph Ziggler eliminates Simon Gotch. Bubba eliminates Jay, and Del Rio eliminates Goldust. Apollo Crews dumps Bo Dallas, and Baron Corbin eliminates Jimmy Uso. And then Corbin eliminates Swagger, and Darren Young eliminates Bubba. We get a little bit of a finisher sequence here. Corbin hits the deep six, walks into GSK from Del Rio, and step up Insecurity. He goes for the second one. He misses. Dolph hits the name dropper. And, of course, you don't have to sell in WWE anymore. So Del Rio hits the divorce court on Dolph and hits, usually it's a Total World backbreaker, but this time it was a Total World gutbuster. So, yeah, the first of many botches tonight. Matthew's going to have a lot of stuff to go through on this episode of Raw, for sure. Del Rio goes for the Del Rio slide, and he goes to the middle rope, which means he's not eliminated, even though Dolph super kicked him off the apron, because technically he went to the middle rope, not over the top. So the name dropper gets caught, and Corbin pops up and hits the Snake Eyes, and Apollo Crews backdrops Del Rio out. The final four: Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Darren Young. The whole time, Bob Backlund is just kind of like frantically like moving back and forth, like so much that he probably couldn't sit still if you wanted him to. And he was watching everything that was going on. So Corbin gets eliminated, and Dolph gets eliminated, and not Corbin gets eliminated. God dang, Dolph got eliminated, and then basically Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin eliminated each other. There was a hip toss over on the ring apron, and basically Crews caught him, and they both went over the top. And Darren Young didn't have to do anything to win. I think this was the right booking here. If they're going to do anything about this make Darren Young great again, they're going to have to do something with him in the ring, and I think it makes sense. I think it's interesting that they're not going to have him against Rusev, because if his primetime players partner couldn't get it done, then maybe he could, but I guess they're going to push him in a different route. I honestly think Darren Young could win the Intercontinental title at Battleground. I think it's possible. I don't think it's probable. I think it's possible. I guess it just kind of depends the direction they want to go. Darren Young celebrates, gets a decent reaction from the crowd, so much that it somewhat sounded like it was piped in. I don't know. But
All right there, Kevin.
good on Darren Young, though. Seriously, he's a jam-up guy. He's had a lot of setbacks in his career, and now maybe they'll actually commit to pushing him. So this is fine. This battle royal meant nearly nothing. So Darren Young wins. Thoughts?
Ashley?
It's sort of interesting, obviously, the pitch that they've done it in terms of, he basically flukes it.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He just basically got beat up, and he still won.
But, I'd say I'm okay with that.
Well, in essence, though, Ashley, if you really think about it, he won in a heelish manner. He didn't have to do anything to win.
Yeah, well, to some
But he
extent.
didn't take advantage of it, so, I mean, it's not, like, full-blown heel.
Yeah.
Will?
I mean, this is a great way to bring Darren Young back, because I, quite frankly, had enough of two things. One, seeing the promos, and two, seeing Bob Backlund read off a teleprompter. Honestly, like you said, Owen, Darren Young could win the IC title at Battleground.
I think it's possible.
Yeah, and then
I think he's a transitional champion, but, I mean, I still think it's possible.
yeah, but I mean, that was my thought on the Battle Royal itself. Yeah.
Fair point. So we move on.
Hang on.
We're gonna make Darren Young great again.
That's 7 words that we live by, because, I'm getting behind him than I am fucking Stephanie or Shane.
If I want to make somebody great again, I will focus on Kenny King, Rhett Titus, and Caprice Coleman.
Bob
No.
Backlund, quit reading off a teleprompter.
No. You can't make wrestling great again. Because there's 3 words that disprove that wrestling isn't great anymore. And those 3 words are Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Wrestling is great enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Excalibur.
No. Thank you, whoever trained him.
No, I say thank you, Excalibur, for the great things that he's done for the wrestling business this weekend.
Well, admittedly, it's not till It's not till September, so we can't celebrate just yet.
Yeah. He was trained by Chris Hero, so there you go.
Ah, well, he ain't knowing to fuck with.
This is correct. Chris Hero, Andre Baker, Matt Ball, and John Ryan. Basically UK Hammerlock. That makes sense. Welcome, James, to chat. All right, what do we got here? Let's move on to... Oh, God.
Oh, no, we need to bring up this.
Rob Conway? Yes.
Coming up later. The thing that is nothing to do with the final deletion. But you can clearly tell creative came up with the idea after seeing it.
Yep.
I know people are angry that, you shouldn't compare them. Well, WWE shouldn't have come up with it.
We'll get to that.
Was that Randy Newman?
No.
It was Rob Conway's Randy Newman knockoff music.
Oh, man.
Okay, so... Oh, God. Shane and Stephanie talking about Vince coming to Raw.
Yeah. Hang on. Yeah, basically, Shane and Stephanie are wondering, why is Vince here? And I'm like, seriously. No wonder Vince doesn't know who the fuck you are. Not even you can work out that he's here to put us out of our misery and find out who's in charge of each brand definitively, with nobody else there. But then Seth comes in and says perhaps he's coming here to see me. Because I have got a proposition. I've got some special footage that I want to be aired tonight. And Shane says, well, that's great for the Ambrose Asylum segment we got set up. And Stephanie's like, no. I don't like Dean, and I don't want him talking to a plant and eating a sandwich. Which, I think they should do, because social eating has gone fucking crazy on Twitch. It might be, a thing people want to see. Yeah. Roman Reigns eats a foot long, but not the one you think. Whee! So Stephanie goes, okay. Well, Seth basically proposes, I'd like to have my own segment, at least for tonight only. And I want to call it The Rollins Report. And Stephanie goes, all right. And Seth heads off, and Shane goes, whatever happens here, it's on your head, Stephanie. And Steph's like, I'm good with that. So, then we actually have WWE talking about Brock Lesnar fighting on UFC 200. Great. They fucking talk about this 2 days after it's happened. If he hadn't have won, do you think they still would have brought it up?
Probably not.
Yeah. They then mention he's taking on Orton at SummerSlam. And then they show his Brock talking about what he thinks about it from the press conference that happened after Saturday's big show. And he goes, what I do next in MMA, who knows? My next commitments over the next few months is going to SummerSlam to take on Randy Orton. And then it cuts off. So it's like, so his thoughts were, I'm fighting him. That's it.
Yep, that's
Wow,
all
really
that he really wanted to waste on it.
Really informative. I really, you know, no wonder the fucker doesn't want to be there. No wonder. Like Dana's patiently waiting at the door. The door opens. Brock there. Brother Lesnar, I knew you'd come. And then they make the announcement that Orton is making his return in 13 whatever days out of the Battleground show as a guest on Chris Jericho's highlight reel.
Right.
We're doing television segments on network shows. Get fucking used to that, because I think it's going to be coming every 2 weeks when it isn't a Big Four pay-per-view. Oh, shit. So Zack Ryder is gearing up for what he believes to be his US title match and gets attacked by Sheamus. They say it's because he was angry for losing last week, both, you know, in the Battle Royal, the elimination match thing between the USA and the rest of the world, and then the rematch which Zack won on SmackDown. I would argue I have no fucking oh. So now, hang on. Let's.
That's Randy Newman.
That sums it up.
Oh,
No, it ain't. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was a fucking shit cover.
Sounds like Will Sasso's version of Randy Newman.
It wasn't even that.
You got a friend in me.
No. I'll come up with a better version. If I have to reveal my true Randy Newman impersonation.
Oh, I can do one too, so don't worry.
And I need to find the right instrumental.
So yes, as Ashley mentioned,
Anyway,
off camera and off podcast, it's kind of like he's still helping his not friend from the League of Nations after all this time.
Yeah.
So we get Zack Ryder and Sheamus is up next. Zack had a lot of fire in this match. I liked what they did with it. And Ryder hits the broski boot. He goes up for the elbow drop. He gets crotched. And when he lands on the canvas, he eats the brogue kick and Sheamus wins. I will say right now something that I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on, and I think most people on the panel will agree with me on. I hate 50-50 booking. Zack Ryder needed this win more than Sheamus, especially if they're building him up. It doesn't make any sense at all, really. I mean, I don't know why Ryder had to lose, especially if you're building him up. And then Rusev comes out, and Ryder gets some shine on him, but then he gets taken out by what is not the Accolade anymore, because he basically just leans back and just bends him in half. It's not even a camel clutch anymore. It's just like I put the chin lock on you and I do the body scissors and I keep it on until the referee tells me to stop. Best way to put it. Yeah, this was a waste. I hate that. But he did say afterwards, I accept your challenge. So we don't know if that's going to be before Battleground or if it's going to be at Battleground. I mean, I hope it's at Battleground and they put the title on Ryder, because he's had so many opportunities with the U.S. Championship, and I wouldn't mind seeing them actually commit to pushing him. I hope they do. He deserves it. He's somebody that's still over with the crowd despite all that WWE has not done for him. So, yeah, it's a shame. I don't know why Sheamus had to win. I don't like I said, I hate 50-50 booking so much. Well,
It was a throwaway match.
Yep.
And I mean, it's like this is something about Zack Ryder. I mean, I like the guy, but he's not being booked. I mean, yes, he had his time to shine at WrestleMania, and then he
Yes.
lost the next night on Raw. Then it's kind of like right now, Zack Ryder's kind of like on a roller coaster. He went up the hill, and then he went down. There was another hill, and then he went down again. Like, I don't get why they use Zack Ryder so perfectly at one point, and then at the next point, it's just like they treat him like trash.
They do not like seeing people get over on their own.
It's ridiculous. I mean, Zack Ryder, I mean, sure, he started out as an edgehead, and people thought he was just another jobber. But then he actually became someone, and now it's like, I don't get why they won't let guys like Zack Ryder get over on their own. I don't freaking get it.
Zack Ryder, you shouldn't have done that YouTube show.
Which is the only reason he got over in the first place, is because a lot of people, including myself, clung to that show and his real personality.
You know who I think they resent as well now?
Yeah. That's where his career is going. Up, up, down, down.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, WWE. Zack Ryder was the freaking internet champion. What the hell? I mean, seriously, he got over on
You want
YouTube.
to know Creative's thoughts on that? Tension mounting. Work it, make it, do it.
Good God. See, the thing is, it's frustrating, especially if you're a fan of Zack Ryder, and I definitely 100% consider myself one. The thing is, it's just, they have so many great things they can do with him. He's already over on his own, despite the machine. I mean, don't forget, there was a time that Zack Ryder could have main evented, and people would have paid the money to go see it. He got over with Cena, Punk, and The Rock. I mean, WWE have just done such a disservice to Zack Ryder. It's not even funny. They're trying to build it back up, but I don't know. I guess this remains to be seen what they do now.
Now, before we move on, Owen, I do have a question for you, and if Ashley wants to answer this, he can be more than happy to. But Owen, if you were Zack Ryder and you got so tired and sick of WWE treating you like this, what other wrestling organization would you go to?
Well, the thing is, I mean, if it's a money thing, you go where you're going to be taken care of the best financially. What's going to provide the best for yourself and your loved ones. But if it's a wrestling standpoint and you're going there, I mean, it's tough. I mean, honestly, I could see Zack in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had to think of any company that I would think that he would end up in, I'd say TNA. I don't think he would be a Ring of Honor. I don't think that. I mean, I think he would do like the Shindies and stuff. I think that makes sense. But yeah, I think it would be more TNA if I had to pick a promotion for him to go to. And I think there would be money to be made with him and Myers getting back together on the Indies. I'm sure people would pay for that.
Yeah, get the Edgeheads back together.
Find a way to bring Copeland in to like be their manager or ringside. I think that would be cool if they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's just something I get frustrated about that kind of stuff real easily because I see what they could do with Zack Ryder and they don't care.
It's a shame. It is such a shame with what they're doing with Zack Ryder. I mean, you almost feel bad for the guy.
I'm glad he's on TV still though.
Yeah, and even though he probably sees it, but he just doesn't want to admit it. I mean, you still got to feel bad for the guy.
I mean, as long as he can provide for himself and his family, I mean, I don't think he's going to care if he's jobbing out in 5 minutes or if he's in the main event.
Yeah.
I guess it just kind of depends, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of like the Owen back-to-back hour when it came to this match because up next we had Fandango and Tyler Breeze against the Lucha Dragons.
Why?
Apparently this was something that was set up on the pre-show that I was not aware of.
Huh.
They were making fun of the Lucha Dragons and they were like, "You do realize we didn't speak English, right?" I'm happy to know what it seems to be the case that Fandango and Breeze are actually over with Vince. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
This match was just all over the place. First off, there was a K-Brada moonsault from Sin Cara that it caught Fandango in the face.
Ooh.
Kalisto botched the springboard. This match was it went too fast. It's a terrible, terrible match. One of the things I liked here was the finish. So at this point, Sin Cara dives on Fandango on the outside, and Tyler tries to steal the win with a roll up, and he gets caught and a supermodel kick while he's trapped in the corner, and they take the win with a roll up. So I'm happy that Fandango and Tyler Breeze won. I still hate the name Breezango. It's god awful. That the person that came up with this needs to be fired on the spot. This is a really sloppy match. Just not much I can say of any worth about it, unfortunately. Thoughts?
So first off, when you said Kalisto botched, actually Kalisto, that's Sin Cara's job.
They both botched in this match. This match it never got out of the gates. That's the thing, though. It went too fast, and their pacing was so quick that when you go too fast, you can make mistakes, and it was really clear.
I mean, Sin Cara and Kalisto, I'm getting sick of the Lucha Dragons. I was a fan of theirs at first when they first started out, when they came to WWE after NXT. But then it just got ridiculous. I mean, now they need to either split up or just go back to NXT. Like Sin Cara go his way and Kalisto go his way, but no. And Breezango, they need to be called Strictly Selfie.
They need to be called something else. I hate that name. That name is god awful.
But I mean, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, that tag team is starting to grow on me, to be honest.
Awesome. They're an awesome team. They actually have matching gear. They work really well with each other's personalities. I've been calling this team since back when Breeze was in NXT. And I'm glad they're finally doing it. The only thing missing is a piece of eye candy. The only thing missing here is a valet.
Now, who do you think?
My girl, Summer Rae.
Yeah.
She has passed with both guys. I think it works.
But yeah, Breeze and Fandango are starting to grow on me. Lucha Dragons, just get out of here. I'm sorry. Get off the main roster and go, like I said, either back to NXT or go your separate ways. I'm getting sick of you two. I know I sound like a dick right now, but it's the truth.
No, I mean, honestly, when they're considering moving people up from NXT anyway, it would make sense to start moving people back to NXT in order to be able to flesh out the tag team division. And if you're going to get rid of American Alpha, you need a strong babyface team in NXT. And their run in WWE has been rather lackluster, but their run in NXT was pretty stellar. So I wouldn't have a problem with following in the footsteps. Not following in the footsteps of what the Vaudevillains did, which unfortunately Vince just doesn't get them, and the main roster just doesn't get them, sadly. But I think Lucha Dragons would fit a lot better in NXT's tag team division than they do WWE's.
Exactly. And when you say bring up talent from NXT, I mean, let's look at some talent from NXT that was just brought up way too soon.
Baron Corbin.
I don't know I don't know if you said his name, but I say Apollo Crews was brought up too soon.
The thing, it's a weird thing about him because he's got all the skills to make it. He's just not over. That's the problem. WWE, he has not gotten over yet.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
Yeah, the Vaudevillains was brought up too soon.
No, they weren't brought up necessarily too soon because it took a while they were in NXT for a long time. But the thing is, they just brought them up without them having a storyline for them. That was the problem.
Yeah, and one more question about the Vaudevillains, and then we can move on. Do you ever think, Owen, that one day Vince will see the Vaudevillains as have faith in the Vaudevillains?
No. The gimmicks too indie, honestly. I mean, I know a lot of people that can make a lot of money with that gimmick, and the Vauds would make a lot of money on the indies with it. The thing is, though, it's not a main roster gimmick. The general public are not going to buy into it like Full Sail would.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame, but that's just the facts of life.
This is just too
So,
much.
We move on. We get a long segment, the Rollins report. Rollins comes out, says he's going to have footage of an interview he did with Roman Reigns. We've seen this before. It's basically the guy talking, and on the other end, you have like archival footage is trying to answer the questions, and it's not done at the same time. It's done for spoof factor. Not much here. Just making Roman look like more of a goof than normal. Roman is asked about the suspension, and his response was, "Yeah, I did it. I went all in." I thought it was kind of funny. Yeah. WWE, I'm pretty sure, slowly but surely, are giving up on Roman Reigns. Which may be what he needs, honestly, to get out of the spotlight a little bit, and that might give him a chance to get over on his own again. Being off television probably helps a little bit, but the reason why he's off television, yeah, that's probably not a good thing. So Rollins has a lot of jokes at his expense, and it's a funny haha moment until Dean Ambrose comes out, and then Rollins says Ambrose had to sneak up on him and steal the title after he beat Roman fair and square, and then he's going to fight the odds and beat both men and prove that he's the best man in the Shield. This is fine. Everybody has wanted this Shield triple threat for the WWE Championship. I just don't care anymore. I don't. I think, number one, it's downplayed because it's a battleground. Everybody wanted this at WrestleMania. This is a battleground. Ambrose shows some fire, which actually worked really well. He said he was the backbone of the company, and the one there when guys get suspended or leave for other sports, he's always there. He's kind of like a version of what Cena says, like, I'm always here regardless, which is hilarious in hindsight. But Ambrose offers a title shot to Rollins one-on-one next week actually, anytime, any place. And then Rollins is like, well, Detroit seems like a great place to do it, and everybody gets crazy for it. And then he's like, nah, we'll do it next week. So next week on Raw, the last show before the draft is going to be WWE Championship on the line. Dean Ambrose defending against Seth Rollins. Rollins is the babyface here. It's a shame that he's not being portrayed as such, at least when it comes to Roman. And especially after the 24 special and everything, and really Rollins have to basically force us to hate him. But yeah, Ambrose comes off really well. He's come off really well on the mic a lot lately. So, I mean, he's doing good mic work, which is good. This was fine. It wasn't anything like to write home about, but it was what it was, I guess. And it gives us a world title match on Raw next week, so that's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, the Shield triple threat. I mean, like you said, you don't care anymore, and
I mean, the match is going to be good, but I mean, the storyline, I don't care.
And this is not a battleground match.
No, it's not.
This is not a battleground match. This is a WrestleMania. If they wanted to wait this long, and I'm sure I had a really good feeling that they would have held this on. This would have been a great WrestleMania 33 main event.
No. I mean, I don't think it would have been a main event. I actually wouldn't even have put the title on the line. I would have, let it stand on its own without the title, because it doesn't really need it, because it's got a lot of backstory, so much so that you don't need to have a championship bogging it down. But, I mean, I guess they're committing to make Battleground mean something, to give us the match that everybody wanted to see, but now it's tainted because Ambrose is the champion, but he's not necessarily over. Rollins is the heel, but only because WWE wants him to be. And no one cares about Roman Reigns anymore, so they're either going to have to, A, just keep on plugging along, or they're going to turn him. Which, I mean, it doesn't work, because if they turn him, then the only person they can turn him on is Ambrose, because they turn him on Rollins, even though we see him as the babyface, and he obviously is via the storyline the way it rightfully should be told. He's the heel, so you can't turn heel on another heel. It's just a convoluted mess, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn comes out for commentary. Kevin Owens facing Cesaro next. Yes, please. Owens is shown it. Basically, his music plays, and everybody wonders where he is. We go back to the camera in the locker room where a myriad of referees are talking to Kevin Owens, and basically Owens is saying, I'm not going out there with Sami Zayn there. That's conflict of interest. That's unsafe working environment. I'm not going to deal with that. So Stephanie shows up, and Stephanie's like, yeah, you're right. Well, let's get rid of him. So they go ahead and get rid of him. And of course, Sami doesn't want to leave because he had permission from Shane to go out there. So then it was funny because Owens comes out and Sami's leaving, and Owens antagonizes Sami and takes a swing, and they start fighting for a minute until they're separated. So, and then for some reason we had to see Vince McMahon arrive in a limo to Renee Young. Renee basically wonders why he's here. He says, I'm going to name the new commissioner of SmackDown Live. He says, I don't even know who it is. I may even change my mind when I get to the ring. Yeah, that sounds a lot more like booking, to be honest. We come back and we actually get the match. Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. I will state right now, this match was good, but are you really surprised?
No.
One of the things I will mention right now is there's a couple of things I want to talk about. So we get a really high impact match We come back from commercial, and at 9:29, Owens applies Chinlock City, of course.
Chinlock City. Chinlock City.
Cesaro elbows out of it, and Owens catches him with a reverse neck breaker onto the knee. I thought that was very unique. I know I've seen it before, but it was still really unique. So Owens is the running clothesline in the corner, sets up for the cannonball, and Cesaro's out of the way. He hits 3 Swiss uppercuts, and then he's working him over in the corner. And one more finally drops Owens to the canvas for a near fall. Owens gets the thumb of the eye to change momentum, and he goes for the pop-up powerbomb. Cesaro leapfrogs over him, ducks the clothesline, hits the springboard 180 Swiss uppercut. Unlike Kalisto, who slipped off the ropes, Cesaro didn't. And Owens goes to the floor. Cesaro puts on JBL's hat and runs around the length of the ring, hitting the Swiss uppercut. Tosses him in, hits the babyface flying body press for a near fall, and the hat goes flying. He goes for the swing. Owens kicks him off, a boot in, and Owens goes for a 180 into a tornado DDT, gets caught, put on the buckle, and drop kicked. Owens ends up going to the legs of Cesaro when he climbs up, going for the superplex, and he gets caught. And Owens hits him with what I would refer to, and what my good friend Chris Kahn, shout out to the Mega Flowers, would refer to as the F-it, which is basically a torture rack into a neck breaker, and gets the 3 count on that. Solid match. Really excellent encounter between these two. Not surprising. A really high-impact match. A lot of great skill between these two. They have a lot of great chemistry, and anytime they're able to face off, I have no problems with it. Of course, this isn't over because Sammy jumps to the crowd and attacks Kevin Owens. And he pounds on him, and he tosses him into the ring, and of course, he eats the giant swing from Cesaro for his trouble. So yeah, it was a great segment, very well enjoyed, and more, please, more. Will?
Little thing on Kevin Owens, he's a great work in the ring, great talker,
Big time.
And definitely, in my opinion, deserves a title push soon.
Kevin Owens should be World Heavyweight Champion, and I hope one day he will be, and I know one day he will be.
And even though that Money in the Bank briefcase should have been his.
Agreed.
But
I understand why they did what they did.
Yeah. Cesaro, great work in the ring, and I like it when it's really amazing when Cesaro goes a swinging, as JBL puts it. And, yeah. Just overall, great segment.
Ashley, you have any thoughts on Cesaro and Kevin Owens? Okay. Oh yeah, real quick, the dark match tonight was AJ Styles and Seth Rollins facing off against Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn. I don't understand the correlation of that match. I don't know why Kevin Owens is not in this match. Ambrose hit Dirty Deeds to send the crowd home happy. So we press on. Renee's in the back with the club. AJ says Enzo and Cass made a rookie mistake. John Cena doesn't care about anybody but himself. Cena's not even here tonight because, of course, he's hosting the ESPYs on Wednesday. And they make jokes about practice. I was hoping for a Last Action Hero reference, and I thought with Gallows that it might happen, but no, it didn't go that way. And, of course, basically they're going to do the hashtag beat up John Cena. I always enjoy that. Up next, we get Slater Gator colliding.
Slater Gator's back together?
I said colliding.
Oh.
You watch the show. So Titus O'Neil versus Heath Slater. social outcasts made fun of Titus. They said he let down his kids and America with the matches against Rusev. And this match wasn't really much at all. They did a victory lap, and of course, this led to Titus ends up doing the multiple backbreakers and the toss aside, and he ends up hitting the big splash in the corner and the Clash of the Titus to get the win. Not much you can do about this match. There was really nothing here. I mean, Titus is pretty much he was on a nice roll with the feud with Rusev, but I think he's kind of cooling off a little bit, which is a shame. Sasha's in the back. She basically talks about beating Dana Brooke tonight in order to move on to defeat Charlotte for the Women's Championship. And apparently Darren Young and Bob Backlund are going to be on Miz TV on Thursday. Oh, God. This is the time I wish Ashley was here, because we're about to talk about the New Day and the Wyatt segment.
The New Day Legion.
New Day Legion, yeah.
Shout out to Travis for creating that hashtag.
Ashley, are you there? No? All right. So, this was... okay, he dropped out officially. This was shot like a horror movie. As a matter of fact, this was totally shot like one of the WWE films, horror movies that are like D-grade. A lot of like Blair Witch style camera movement and editing. Some epic music. There was cars with headlights. There were people with sheep masks, man and female. At this point, Bray Wyatt tried to kill Xavier Woods with an axe. That was entertaining. He beats up Xavier and he tosses him over his shoulder, and he just dumps him on the ground. So Biggie and Kofi were fighting for their lives, and they were destroying the cars with like pickaxes and various weapons and breaking glass everywhere. Braun Strowman went into the windshield of the car at one point. This got going until Bray asked where their power of positivity was. So the New Day kind of stood their ground. A bunch of masked people appeared, and the New Day ran. Okay. Here's the thing. We have talked about the final deletion here on Wednesday and on the Wild Style Wrestling podcast on Thursday. It is totally clear to me Travis absolutely hates this. Will's somewhat indifferent. I thought it was brilliant. WWE sees this and like, okay, we can do it better. Yeah. No. I mean, first off, the thing about this was it was played way too serious. The final deletion was not supposed to be serious. This was completely serious. Like I said, Bray tried to kill Xavier Woods with an axe. Yeah, so basically the Wyatt family ran away, and that was the end of that. I don't think this worked at all. I really don't. I don't think it worked one bit. I do like the fact that Xavier got a lot of shine here, as much as you could in a fight that was done in, like, Halloween Horror Nights lighting, basically.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, the only thing missing from this was fog and chainsaws. The thing is, it didn't work. I don't think it worked at all. I mean, they tried to do the final deletion, and it failed. I don't think that it stands on its own either. I mean, even if you don't compare it, I don't think it works. Will?
See, I mean, you were building Xavier Woods to be like, from what I remember, you guys talking about being possessed. They were like continuing this about And then last Monday, he was saying, "You don't get it. We're going on their turf." And then all of a sudden, he walks away last Monday, but then runs away tonight. I don't get why. The New Day ran away after they said, "Oh, we're going to stand up against the Wyatts. They're not going to run us down like that."
And they ran away.
Why would you do that?
I guess they just couldn't get the job done because the numbers game was too much.
I mean, and I thought when New Day was standing there looking at the Wyatts, I thought Xavier was going to go back to that heel face, turn around to look at Kofi and Big E and say, "The New Day falls."
They wouldn't do that outside of a wrestling match.
Is this working now?
Finally, yes.
Don't ask me. I came on the last 2 times and it said I was on the call. So why the hell you couldn't hear me? I had no fucking clue. I blame Senor Shelton Benjamin. He did not prepare the battlefield properly.
Exactly.
By the way, you do know that there was a conference call of what happened in that field, whatever night this happened. I got the audio to prove it.
Hello? Hey, what's up? I need your help. Can you come here? I can't. I'm buying.
Oh my God.
I can't find them. What do you mean you can't find them? I can't find them. There's only soup. What do you mean
There's only soup?
At a compound, there would only be soup.
Soup aisle. All right, don't have to shout at me. There's more soup. What do you mean there's more soup? Just more soup. Going to the next aisle. There's still soup. Where are you right now? That's soup. What do you mean you're at soup? I mean I have soup.
I'm at the
Where are you in? I'm at the soup store.
I'm at the soup store.
The soup store.
Still makes more sense.
All this is better than... It's weird how... I don't know. I can be more humorous than the main drawing power of Raw and TNA.
Yeah.
Because it's like me, then Final Deletion, and then Compound linked us.
Do you have any thoughts?
It's a waste.
Yeah, big time.
WWE Creative saw that last Friday or Saturday.
Mm.
Or they heard that they heard that the wrestlers had seen it. So I think they came up with an idea. So I guess by Monday, whether it was in time for the show or not, who knows. But by last Monday, WWE Creative had seen it as well.
Right.
Which was the biggest mistake you could have ever done. Because WWE, being WWE, and being, all about competition, so the fucking irony there, ladies and gentlemen, they did an Adam Blompier, should I say it?
Yep.
They just went, that's how they did it, and we can do it better. Ding! It's like,
but in actuality, they couldn't.
They shot it in the same sort of way, as in something different from the mainstream stuff. Even putting like the millimeter film filter on it.
Mm.
You know, with the imperfections in the film sort of thing. No. The sad thing is that now makes Final Deletion look good, and for some people that was fucking atrocious.
Yep.
There was no need to go down to their level. How? In Seth Rollins, you've practically got the same thing that Bennett was doing.
Yeah.
In terms of, I want what I want because, I'm the guy sort of thing. I'm the man. There's too much copycatting from both sides. You can't come up with original stuff. I don't know. Here's an idea, WWE. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to do it within the next 6 weeks. Take 24 men and put them in a tournament and call it, I don't know, if it's going to be in September. Where's Night of Champions happening?
Find out.
What's happening?
Stupid thing's so slow.
Night of Champions, I think, is in...
Or whatever it's called now, Clash of the Champions.
Clash of the Champions will be taking place...
in October? No.
No, it's September.
Oh, okay.
And... Indianapolis.
There we go. Battle of Indianapolis.
Oh my
Coming this
god.
September to WWE. I'm pretty sure you know.
Well, why don't they just cut out the middleman, Ashley, and call it Battle of the Indy?
No, they should. No, actually, thinking about it, they should call it. I don't know. The Elite of Trios.
Oh god.
Yeah. They don't copy from the indies, where, if they did, they might have a better product.
Alright.
Instead, they try and copy from each other, which is why, with respect, they should both copy from each other. And when the Olympics is on, and apparently it's going to be on USA, nobody fucking watches wrestling. No, they watch wrestling, they just watch the Olympic wrestling instead. That one in Rio, when everybody gets infected with the Zika virus. Probably.
God. Oh, let's talk tag action. The Gallows
Wait, we're
Carl.
already at the second hour.
Yeah. And
Ooh.
when you only have 2 people on the podcast, it's kind of easy to get through things fast.
No, but it's like it felt like it felt weirdly. It felt longer. I don't know if it was because of the whole, Brother Xavier. I knew you'd come.
Pretty much.
But yeah, there's like all of a sudden, the headline act for the top of the third hour is Enzo and Cass versus the Good Brothers.
Yep.
With Enzo and Cass cutting their usual opening of the promo and then basically saying, we don't want to cheat to get to the top table. We want to earn our place there, just like Cena's done. And AJ's like, look, it's your final warning. Cena ain't here. He's in LA, rehearsing for the ESPYs. But, by the way, why do you fucking need to rehearse for an award ceremony that's in 48 hours' time? The flags were there. The flags were there. Also, because nobody asked for a refund.
Jeez.
Hey, that's the rule.
I know.
If Cena's advertised and then doesn't show up, they can go for a refund.
This is correct.
Do you think they do the same for Roman Reigns?
I highly doubt that. Actually, no. Maybe.
Except they get a free I don't know, little something of green
God.
from a relation of Sasha Banks. I don't know.
God, let's talk about tag match.
Yeah.
Not much to it either. Just a basic tag match. One thing I
Because they
do.
can't give away all the secrets for the 6-man.
Yeah. Carl Anderson yells, "Stay in the corner" to Enzo
Stay in the corner, watch him roll.
with the pop kick. Yeah. Cass gets the hot tag, and he slams Carl Anderson. He hits the Empire Elbow. He hits a fall-away slam out of the corner. The big splash, the big boot, tags in Enzo. They hit the NBA Jam. AJ low bridges Cass. Gallows makes the save. AJ ends up tossing Cass over the barricade, and the referee calls for the bell. Okay. So they corner, and they get ready to corner Enzo and Cass. They're getting ready to take him out once and for all, because Cass is, of course, on the outside. Enzo is about to get mugged by the club. And here comes John Cena.
Uh-oh.
There's a brawl, faces clear the ring, and Big Cass almost trips over Enzo. That's your 6-man tag for Battleground, ladies and gentlemen. Ashley, thoughts?
It was okay. Nothing spectacular. It really
Right.
shows you Enzo and Cass weirdly got brought up too soon.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to think that these NXT guys that everybody was saying, oh, they need to be up on the main roster. They really needed another 6 months
Oh, yeah, for sure.
to actually prepare themselves. And, you know, I did like the fact that even when Cena came out, the crowd reaction was really just,
Nobody gives a shit.
Yes.
you know, it's like you know, after all the hype promo with the compound earlier, because I didn't bring that up. It was like, you know, it's a shame they can't have Tumbleweed, because that's how it felt, and that's how it was presented. And it's just it's disappointing, but it's telling. And I know WWE is sort of handcuffed because NBC. But you know, at the minute, you know, despite my mocking 12 months ago, all I care about is Mr. Robot. Nothing else.
Will, you have any thoughts on the match?
No, I do applaud Cass for almost tripping on Enzo,
Yep.
but pointless. I mean, I'm sure people are going to find this 6-man tag a good match, but to me, it's just eh. So those are my thoughts on this.
So we move on to our next segment, and the main event of the evening. Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. Dana has no individuality anymore because she comes out to Charlotte's music now. It's just, this match just never got going. Dana Brooke has never been my favorite in the ring, but I mean, she was kind of getting better, but not so much here. She hits a round off splash for a near fall. Sasha kicks it in the high gear, and she hits the double knee drops. Dana stops her tip up with a straight kick to the face, and Dana gets sent to the middle buckle. Heads up top, gets caught going for the superplex, gets knocked off, flying body press for a near fall. And Sasha goes for the backstabber, but Dana grabs onto the ropes. Dana gets a clothesline and a Jerichoholic pin for a near fall. She sets up for the better than you driver and the backstabber into the bank statement. Sasha kicks off the ropes to roll right in the middle of the ring positioning, and Dana taps out.
Okay, match.
Yeah, I don't know how Dana gave.
Nothing to write home about.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that they gave it so long.
I don't know why they gave it 2 segments. That makes no sense to me. But of course, it's not over yet, Ashley. SmackDown, there's going to be a rematch.
No, you need to do it properly.
Okay.
Charlotte gets on the mic and says, you know, despite you doing this, I don't think you deserve a shot at my title yet. So you'll have to face her again on SmackDown. Then maybe, just maybe, I might consider you as a contender. And in my head,
Whatever that means.
yeah. It's just a whole load of nope. That's a whole load of nope. That's what that is.
Oh, God.
A whole load of nope.
Charlotte. Charlotte just came off like lost in this promo.
The fact that they, you know, Cole was talking and then she was just like, yeah, I want nothing to do with you. Like talking to a fan while on the mic, like, yeah, I should have just cut the mic off
Yeah.
and finished it there. Like, ugh.
Speaking of
Are
finished
we
it.
trying to make the Divas division look bad? Are we
Yep.
trying to make the Divas division look bad? Are we trying to? Are we purposely planning this so when the Bellas come back, because they'll be that fucking desperate for ratings? Oh,
Final segment.
hang on. I need to get ready.
Yeah.
So, those of you in the know what's coming now. So Shane's out first, followed by Stephanie, and finally, here come that boy. Shit, what's up? It's Vince. So Vince says, you know, Shane, Stephanie, you've done a fair job so far, but I'm disappointed in both of you. So much so, I can't believe that you came from my loins.
Note to Vince, it's not the Attitude Era anymore, so you don't need to do that shit.
Right.
Yeah. Both have shown a lack of ruthless aggression that comes with the McMahon name.
I thought that was Brock Lesnar. Just saying.
Now, I want you to convince me that, you know, that I should be the one that puts you in charge of SmackDown. And Stephanie's like, oh, well, you know, Shane's stabbing you in the back. You say all these things in public. You know, he didn't want to be somewhere he didn't feel he was wanted, and then, you know, saying stuff completely different privately behind your back. And Shane goes that, well, yeah, since I came back 5 months ago, No, I was the true figure. I'm the true figure, really, that represents change in this company.
Jog the fuck on.
Yeah, breaking the glass ceilings, and I'm the only one that can tell Vince the honest truth when he needs to hear it. Change is what's needed, and Shane feels that he's the catalyst of change. And of course, the fans are all going over for Shane, and he doesn't care what the fans think. He's down to him.
So, if fans are tuning out of your product because they don't like it, you honestly don't care what they think? If you don't care what they think, how many fucking surveys have you sent out in the last week trying to get ideas?
It's true.
Especially the one which is like, oh yeah, two people go on a blind date that's interrupted by a WWE superstar. Yeah, this is not a great fucking idea. We'll go through more of them on Wednesday if I can find them.
Fair point.
So, Vince asks for a drum roll so he can deliberate what's going to happen. And then announces, so, the commissioner of SmackDown is Shane McMahon. And Shane's ecstatic. Vincent says, well, that does mean I'm relieving you of your duties on Raw. And the commissioner of Raw is Stephanie. And Stephanie's ecstatic at that as well. And then, Vince goes, I want you to compete in terms of TV ratings, in terms of live event attendances, in terms of social media reach, in terms of merchandise, in terms of anything and everything. I don't even care if you break the law as long as you don't get caught.
All right.
Yeah, he actually said that.
I know he did.
A company that is on the New York Stock Exchange openly said, in a business where everything's supposed to be transparent, even though it's supposed to be, keep in mind, stuff that has happened on television for WWE has affected the share price. Yeah, when Roman got suspended, the shares actually went up for like a day or so,
Right.
and then just reset. I'm sort of if we get tomorrow and people, it's the overall consensus of the fans, which remember, he doesn't care what they think, is negative, which means the investors thinks it's negative, which means the share price goes down, which means the value of the company is less, which means they have less money. He'll have to eventually care what the fans think.
Oh, yeah.
To be quite honest. And again, if he doesn't care what the fans think, that further proves the point of Roman Reigns. To an infinite degree. He wants them to, he wants them to murder each other. Because one of them needs to prove that they should be the inheritor of the McMahon legacy. But they can't handle everything themselves. So, next Monday, he wants them both to declare a general manager of their respective brands to help them out in the day-to-day issues.
So hold the fuck on. 2 weeks ago, we were calling these, job positions general managers of Raw and SmackDown. Last week, this mysteriously changed to COOs. Then, in the space of one night, the COOs became commissioners, and like in some sort of weird conglomeration. Because earlier on in the night, Vince declared there would be a COO of Raw and a commissioner of SmackDown. So in the space of about, an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Uh,
Raw went from a COO to a commissioner. And then in that turn, these commissioners have to appoint general managers, further proving the fact of hang on, silence. Why the fuck are we doing this?
exactly.
We've gone full fucking circle. We wanted to find general managers, then we didn't. And we wanted to find COOs, then we wanted to find commissioners, but now we have to find general managers because apparently the commissioners can't do their job. Change is coming. Fuck all is coming. You know, the best thing that could happen is we get like the ultimate protest in that nobody fucking watches
Would be nice.
either show. The ratings plummet for both shows, meaning competition is null and void because the competition. Well, I can't say the competition will be getting more viewers because I would have thought that. I doubt they'd go to TNA sort of 400,000 level or whatever. But you know, we've already got the fact that we've got issues between Shane and Steph. And now we're adding more fucking corporate sort of. I mean, they're not corporate people, but in essence they are because one's going to be representing Raw and one's going to be representing SmackDown.
Right.
So they're repping each side of the brand. So it's corporate. So we have. I mean, it's not the same mistakes as the first draft, but it's pretty close. Because if this isn't done right, then the possibility is people don't watch Raw because it hasn't got the right person on.
Right.
But at the same time, people don't watch SmackDown because it hasn't got the right person on that they want to watch. So in essence, you could be diluting the viewership for both. It's, they're going to have to be very careful about how they're working out which stars to be on which brands. Very, very careful. Because if it is done incorrectly, the entire operation will be an utter failure. And this draft and brand split will last much, much less than the one that they had. To be quite honest, and I hate to say this because of the Cruiserweight Classic, but if you think WWE is giving you too much wrestling that you can handle, the only way that WWE would take notice is if you cancel the WWE Network.
Wow.
Because arguably, that's their biggest revenue thing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Above anything. Even above the TV deals. Especially, of course, if the viewership for the TV goes down, USA gets even more pissed. And then there's the likelihood that, they could drop them because, they're not delivering on the pitched expectations that WWE was saying they were going to get. There is the possibility that change could come. And not in a way that WWE wants. Let's see. I'm thinking it's going to be messy, though. And not the football player.
I was, towards the end of the show, I was fighting to stay awake. I don't care about the McMahon war. I don't want any of this on television anymore. I shudder to even think what this GM thing is going to come from.
Yep.
1 step forward, 28 steps back.
Only 8 days to go. Only 8 days to go. Only 8 days to go.
Well, at least we get to talk about good wrestling on Wednesday, which will be starting at 10 p.m. because of the Cruiserweight Classic. That's our show. Just on autopilot until the draft. Well,
you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and if you have one, Periscope at HHNDawg, DAWG. The link to my YouTube channel is and always will be in the description bar down below with everyone else's. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for amazing content coming soon. Overall, tonight's Raw, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give it maybe 1.5. Maybe a 1. Like Owen said last week, I think on Wednesday, WWE Creative is not caring until after the draft. And, yeah. So, I had fun tonight, giving my thoughts on tonight's Raw. And until the next wrestling or soon Halloween Horror Nights podcast, I will see you boys and girls in the doghouse.
Ashley?
What?
Ashley?
Well, I've got to give my thoughts.
Yes.
I'm pretty much. You heard the Undertale music.
No.
You know what I felt.
I wasn't giving you your thoughts. We're taking it home.
Oh, we're going that quick. Sorry.
There's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah. Well, there is. Fucking Amazon deals. That's why I was away. More interesting than Raw. Find me on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. Game with Ash video was up talking about Evolve. Once again, accurately predicting what Jim Sterling would talk about in much better and more intricate detail. Apparently, I guess I'm going to have to talk about Pokemon Go because he'll probably talk about that next week. And whatever. But, either way, check out archive of my podcast stuff over at snsradionetwork.com. You got the whole indie show and SNS Sticks and Flicks over there, along with a whole heap of other shows and that over on there as well. Check them out. They're sort of like us, but I would say better. We're still in training. And we've still got the little trike wheels. We're like Brother Nero. Or something. I don't know.
You can follow me on Twitter at @SroandDisney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Facebook fan page, Popcast Network. Zazzle.com store at Popcast Network. We are on the Halloween Horror Nights podcast are now available on iTunes and Google Play right now. Soon to be Stitcher as well, so I'll tweet out those links whenever we get them. Quick programming note, the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast is starting at 10 p.m. on Wednesday night because of the Cruiserweight Classic. Thursday, Sip and Snack, Random Flavors returns. Friday, AJ's movie reviews is Ghostbusters.
Ghost bitches.
Yeah, Saturday is
Oh,
yes.
I was saying, don't be too harsh on it. Just be harsh on it when you come out, if you feel so.
I'm sure I will.
Don't just be like the SJWs of this world.
I've never
Be
been a fan of this idea, so
Be
there.
anti-SJWs or whatever the shit that old stuff was.
Saturday, Sip and Snack, Ecto Cooler, finally.
Yay!
Sunday, your cryptic comment is paranormal humor. So, Gaming with Ash returns on Monday, and the nights that the Cruiserweight Classic are running, we're going to be doing the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast at 10 p.m., but otherwise we'll go back to 9:30. So, Wednesday will feature the second part of Ultima Lucha Dos, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, What Culture Pro Wrestling episode. Was it? We're now at 3 now, aren't we?
So free, yeah.
Yeah. And I swear to you, Control S will be my friend. We're going to talk
On
about
top of that, we'll obviously cover all the
Bola.
fallout from UFC 200 and all that stuff.
Yep.
And all the fallout from the news and whatever, because, that seems to be happening everywhere now. There is no rest, you bastards.
Never have rest.
And I guess we'll also be hyping up the start of G1 Climax this weekend. Yeah, it is this weekend because it builds up to the 48 hours of, well, I guess somewhat 72 hours of WWE. Because it'll be live Raw reactions, live SmackDown reactions, and then the Wednesday show.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, Halloween
And all
Horror
that stuff.
Nights podcast coming in the near future as soon as we get another announcement. So once again, short show, but there really wasn't much to talk about tonight. If you missed this Raw, you really didn't miss anything. If you get a chance to check out Cesaro and Kevin Owens, do so. That is about it. So that's what we got for this week.
I need to see whether Cesaro and Owens wrestled on the Indies. And tell everybody to watch that instead.
Claudio Castagnoli versus Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen has to have existed somewhere.
Yeah, Steen, Claudio.
I'm sure it's...
Yeah, C4 Wrestling in Canada, by the looks of it.
That makes sense.
RWA Mid-South against Steen versus Tyler Black. Oh, and then, of course, you've got the very first cage match in Chikara history between Cesaro and some bloke called Luke Harper.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's the end of the show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thanks for a couple people who joined us in chat. We appreciate that. And hopefully I'll be a little bit more awake when I return to Wrestling Talk on Wednesday night. So, as always...
You'll have watched the Cruiserweight Classic and Nakamura versus Balor, so...
Right.
Probably.
I need sleep. So thanks, everyone, for listening and joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. Shout out to Acer at Acer1337. Yes, in a row. Check out Acer5000 on YouTube. And his Twitter is ordered to find out all the podcasts you should be listening to, wrestling and or otherwise. And shout out to Jeremy Mills. Hopefully he'll be returning next week. And Travis, and was not able to be here tonight for whatever reason, but hey, it happens sometimes. So Travis will be returning on Wednesday too to talk UFC and What Culture Pro Wrestling. So that being said, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we are very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a Popcast. Acer says, yay for McMahon family drama at it again. From GMs to COOs to commissioners and GMs all over again. Those McMahons really want to spike the ratings up for mainstream brands. WWE may be a mess.
Oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah.
He wants to do a TNA.
Yeah.
Spike. Get it?
Good God.
Because it did that badly the last time. That's why they went back to USA.
Dear God.
Oh, he's like it.
Thank you guys for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.